Colleen Callahan's Beyond the Banner. I'm Colleen Callahan, along with Haley Bickelhaupt. Both Haley and I showed livestock. Haley showed cattle, and I showed pigs. But for both of us, the goal was always the banner. And with hard work and a lot of luck, we both have pictures of those champions, along with the coveted banner. But
after our show careers, we realized that those banners meant much more than an achievement. They meant some of our best friendships, greatest memories, and early mornings and nights working hard, and they even defined our career choices.
And since both of us chose careers in broadcasting, we agreed we wanted to feature current showmen and their experiences. So here we are. Not always to feature the champions, but these stories beyond the banner. How did all of this get started?
Back when our children were younger, we went to several shows, and it was kind of our little sideline of helping pay the expenses of going at the time. And so we picked up doing the caramel apples. There was another family from Ohio that did it first out here, and when they quit, then they said, well, Illinois Beef Expo was great. So we came out with our crew of kids, and we have 5 children. Our oldest daughters, we have Heather, Heidi, Haley, and Holly and Brett. So we have one son. Everybody helped, pitch in, and then as the kids got older, then they graduated and went on to their own things. And then Haley, just last 2 years, said, "Hey, Mom, I'll take it over if you're ready." And I'm like, "We're ready," because in the meantime, then once the kids all graduated from high school, I started in real estate. So I'm selling real estate now. So it's kind of a little bit of this is my help to help her to keep it going.
So when you started out going to shows, showing livestock. You were hoping to take home the banner.
Right.
You decided to do this to defray the expense. It's an expense to compete at this level. How did you decide on apples and bananas? It could have been anything.
We just saw this as being kind of more of a healthier idea for one thing, and then people, I don't know, I guess I wanted to say it just kind of took off when we saw another family did it earlier before we did, and then we started out at even some little county fairs and little open shows because we were going to be there anyway. So then we would go to the open shows. We started at first in the back of our car. You packed everything in the back of your car, and then as we got bigger, now we have a trailer that we pull everything around in. But we started out, you might sell 10 or maybe 10 boxes of apples. Now we're anywhere from 30 to amazing. I mean, it's just kind of grown and grown. And so it takes a lot of help, I want to say, or a lot of hours, and it's kind of a laborious thing. So to get somebody to help us is not, family's always been the best.
So it started out where you would load up the trailer with the cattle and head to the show. Now you load up the trailer with apples and bananas and caramel.
Yeah, we do. So definitely a shift in the things that we're doing. Our kids are starting to show, and so we look forward to loading up both cattle and pigs, as well as obviously apples and bananas.
At the Illinois Beef Expo, what would you say on average? I mean, you talked about the number of cases of apples it takes. How many cases did you load up to come here? Apples, bunches of bananas? Do you make the caramel sauce? How much time does it take to prepare to actually start making each one of these?
Well, it takes time, but what we've done out here, we've used Humphrey Market here in Springfield, so we get our produce pretty much close to location, because then we aren't hauling it with weather and everything else. You don't want to take it very far, and they've been wonderful to work with. We've worked with them for 30 plus years too. They're wonderful, and so they look forward to us every year. We look forward to them.
Haley, tell me about growing up doing this. This was something that you said as a family, you thought we can help defray expenses by doing this. So you came into this with a dual role. You were showing cattle, and then you were probably also called upon occasionally to help with this aspect of it. How do you see that shaping you and some of the business decisions and some of the personal decisions you made for your own family?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So I definitely had to obviously split my time between showing livestock and then obviously helping in the apple and banana stand. And so I think one of the big things, like my mom had mentioned earlier, that it's helped to shape me is just the overall interpersonal skills and the please and thank you and the manners and things that it had taught me, as well as the mathematics skills, because you're dealing with cash and having to obviously give change and count change back. So definitely has helped me, and I look forward to passing those same attributes on to my own children as well. And that will probably differentiate them in the workforce eventually.
Yeah, and Haley works for Zoetis, which is animal drugs. That's her real job. This is our little sideline. And so tell them a little about what you do.
Yeah, so I actually work as an executive account manager for Zoetis full time. So I know you mentioned earlier surrounding all the labor that obviously comes into this. So a little bit of background, I think we ordered about 600 pounds of apples to go through this weekend. And then like we mentioned, we also do the same thing at Ohio Beef Expo. We go through about double the amount of produce at Ohio, so it's also a very big show for us. But and then like Mom said, I do have a full-time job, so sourcing all of that can become a little labor intensive, which is why I know she said my time is up. I'll come and help. So
yeah, that's great.
Is there anything that I haven't asked that you'd like to share with an audience that will be primarily livestock people who know that they come here and they can't wait to get the apples and bananas, but they don't really know you or know how all this got started? Is there anything you'd like to add that I haven't asked?
The only thing I can say is, and I know some people say, why do you continue to do that? I've been very blessed being successful in real estate, and I'm like, it's because people come here almost every year and say, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have came back this year. My husband came, but I wouldn't have came, I just come for the apples and bananas. We have husbands come up and say, I got to take my wife an apple and banana home. So it's almost like that feeds me, because we both enjoy helping people and making people, that's what kind of feeds us to keep them continuing to do it.
That's great. It feeds you as you feed others.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
Great.
Yeah, I guess just to add to that, I would say in addition to that, it's family time as well. So It's good to spend time as a family.
Well, I'm guessing that the livestock projects initially were also about family time.
Right.
And you've extended that beyond.
Yes, it's been a blessing beyond blessing. We get to spend time with family now. They live in Wisconsin, so it's lots of time spending time with them, coming to these, but then going and watching them afterwards too.
Now, I saw someone here of another generation that had on gloves. And so what I want to know is that how old are you? And is your name Summit? It's a great name. And how old are you, Summit?
7.
You're 7 years old. And I saw you a little bit ago putting on gloves. Why did you put the gloves on? What were you getting ready to do?
Peel bananas.
Peel the bananas? Would you show us how you do that? Could you put the gloves back on and show us how you peel those? Okay, all right. Thank you, Summit. And so Summit is now the third generation to be on the show circuit. And if your name is Bowman, you have a dual role of not only learning how to groom and show your animal, but also to help defray the expense of the project by peeling bananas and serving those who are sometimes your competition. Perfect example of what's beyond the banner. I'm Colleen Callahan.